joining us for our Sacramento real estate market update for May of 2022. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Brandon Leon. I am a local real estate agent in the Sacramento area. I'm joined by Keith Collin, a local mortgage lender in the area. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about what's going on with this real estate market and it's softening. Is it going to be like 2007, 2008? Are we headed for a crash, or is the market just softening? We're also going to talk about a new Cal Halfa program that has come out with a 10% forgivable second loan. So like if you're buying a $400,000 house, $40,000, I mean, it's not free, but it's kind of like free money. You remember that video we did a long time ago, Keith? That was really fun.
Oh yeah, $5,000.
$1,000. We're going to talk about the Fed Reserve, what's going on with the Federal Reserve. We're going to share a hot property we have coming on the market. Lots of good stuff. So we're going to jump right into it. So Keith, let's talk about the raise in the mortgage rates.
Yeah, so we just saw last week the largest raise in the federal funds rate in about 2 decades. There's a little article we're putting up here. And, you know, I think the big thing out of the bat, there's a couple of things we need to know. One, mortgage interest rates did not go up 0.5% last week with this raise. It's a federal funds rate. The federal funds rate is the rate at which banks exchange money to each other overnight. So if you have a home equity line of credit, your interest rate's probably going to go up in your next mortgage statement. If you're going to get a new auto loan, if you have a variable rate credit card, you know, those interest rates are going to be going up with this hike, but it does not have a direct impact to 30-year fixed interest rates. The big thing here is the Federal Reserve, like, why are they doing this? The Federal Reserve is trying to slow down an overheated economy, and they're trying to make money a little bit more expensive to do that. It will take effect. What's really interesting is inflation is the archenemy of a 30-year fixed loan. So if this works and inflation comes down, mortgage interest rates will actually get better because of it. Most likely next month when they meet again, they'll do another 0.5%. So we're going to see a full percent increase in about a 6-week period of time.
Wow.
Yep. This is, at the end of the day, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they're doing this. We're all seeing cost of goods and services go through the roof, and it needs to come down. And that is what the Federal Reserve is attempting to do, is to slow the economy down by making the federal funds rate higher.
Yeah. No, that's huge. And I think, you know, looking at the news or listening to the news or however you watch it or listen to it, it's like, it's so misleading. And there are constantly people like, well, interest rates just went up to 6%, or, you know, interest rate, they raised them again. They keep raising them. And I just had a conversation with a client today, and he said, hey, where do you think interest rates will be by the end of the year? 7-8%, you know, with them going up every couple weeks.
Right.
And so it's just that common misconception. So I love that you're kind of at least pointing that out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's an important thing. And, you know, we're going to see this again. I mean, we're the Federal Reserve has not done this for a long time. And so we're going to see it happen again. And most likely 2 more times this year, they're going to raise interest rates to try to slow the economy down. Again, it does not have a direct impact on 30-year fixed interest rates. And at the end of the day, it's a good thing that they're doing this.
And it brings up the point that if you're ever at a point where you're just feeling like the interest rates are just going up and up and up, you know, check in with your local lender. Check in with your lender. Make sure to update your pre-approval to make sure that you can actually still qualify for the house that you're looking on purchasing, because interest rates are fluctuating and changing. And so, you know, Keith, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's super important that, you know, especially right now that you're checking in on a regular basis. And, you know, maybe if you're somebody who got pre-approved last year and you're out hunting for houses again, like, you absolutely need to get everything updated, because that approved amount has changed because interest rates have gone up so fast in such a short period of time. But I also think it's really important, you know, and this is not a shameless plug, but it is to work with low people. You know, I had a client come across my desk yesterday that was working with an online lender, and they forgot to put property taxes in the numbers, and they got into contract, and the payment was significantly higher, and they didn't qualify for it because they didn't have property taxes. So these are all things that, you know, you need to be going over with your lender, especially right now. What is the interest rate? You know, what are my updated figures? What's the full and total payment? And that's one of the things that we do. You know, when we're writing offers, we don't want surprises. So every time that you're looking at a property, you know, we get the address, we go to the county, we pull up the taxes, make sure you have all the numbers so there's no surprises when you find the home that you love.
That's really important right now as we kind of segue into this softening market, or what we're seeing is it's really important that you cover all your bases and you prepare yourselves as a buyer. It's never more important than now to be prepared as a buyer and ready just to understand what the market is doing, because it is ever changing. It's changing all the time. And so, hey, if you guys are just joining us, let us know you're here. Give us a heart, a like, a comment. Share this with your friends. We're talking about what's going on right now in the Sacramento real estate market in the month of May, or up to the month of May of 2022. So let us know you're here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We do this every single month, and we're happy to bring this value to you. So let's get into the softening market, and what we're looking to is, what are some of the signs of a softening market? Well, you look at the days on market and how long a house has been on the market, how many days, the average, as that increases, that's a sign. Offers, maybe receiving less offers on homes. You also have maybe less traffic for listings. So even just recently, open house numbers, as far as the amount of people coming into open houses has dwindled. As I'm talking to colleagues, and even on my listings, I'm just seeing open houses are slowing down. And so you look at declining sales to list price ratio. You're looking at price reductions is a big one. And so a lower amount of sales, the inventory going up. These are all things. So the question I get, like, hey, are we in a crash? Is it going to crash? With inflation and everything, are we going to crash? And I say, hey, I'm not necessarily, I don't know enough about the future to say, hey, this is a crash, or there's so many variables. But what I do know is we're seeing some signs of a softening market, and there's just been a shift. And I just listed a house. We're listing a house tomorrow in Sacramento that we were going to list like maybe 3 weeks ago. And just even in that 3-week period, there's just been so many things that have changed. And so, we're looking at more of a shift kind of in demand, even as buyers are losing interest and losing buying power. So I want to look just real quick kind of at one of the last times we had where the market kind of shifted and changed, and that's around the 2005 area. So we have some graphs to share with you. So shout out to Ryan Lundquist, Sacramento Appraisal Blog, for just always coming up with quality content for us to be able to really clearly give you an idea of what's going on in the market. So as we're looking at this shift that I'm talking about, we look at what happened in the market in 2005. There's really some good insight here. And what people focus on is the median house price. So that blue line up top is the median house price. And as you see, it's going down, right? So we have 8/1/2005 and we have 8/1/2006. Those are the two numbers. Now you're seeing the median house price go down, and you're like, okay, well, that's not really that big of an impact. It's slowly going down. But what the real number to look at is the actual inventory, the green line. So in that year's span, you went from 2.6 months of inventory up to 8 months of inventory, right? So a lot of people are looking at the price and not realizing, with the inventory shooting up like that, that really shifted the market, right? So it only went up in price maybe 4 to 6% during that year, which doesn't sound like that much. But when you look at the inventory, so if we go to the next slide, and as we look at the real story, this is the sales volume. So we look at the sales volume going down, but even with the craziness of the sales volume, we're looking at an increase of 207% of the housing supply. So when you have the housing supply go up so much, it changes just the supply and demand change, just as we know it. So you have this huge amount of inventory, and now it becomes more of a buyer's market. And as it shifts to a buyer's market, there's so many other factors that come into play. And so really what we're looking for is we're looking for the actual inventory skyrocketing, right? And then we're looking at the sales volume going down and how that's going to impact the market. And we're starting to see a few signs or a few things as we're looking at what's happening in this market right now. Now, are houses still selling for multiple offers? Absolutely. Is it still a competitive market? Absolutely. But we are seeing this shift, and as we can go to the next one, as we're seeing a shift, I kind of laugh because of real hot pockets. There you go. The real estate market is like a hot pocket, and I love this analogy. So, like, have you ever heated up a hot pocket and taken it out of the microwave early? Well, it's like around the edges, there are some edges that are piping hot, and then the middle's kind of cold. That's kind of where I see the market right now. And as Ryan explained it in his blog, it's like you still have those outliers. You still have those houses that are move-in ready, that have a pool, that maybe have acreage. Like the market is still fairly hot and moving quickly. We have over 70% of houses in the region, in the Sacramento region, that have multiple offers. But it's not every house. It's here, few and far between. But I just had a conversation with two different clients who said, "Hey, I'm interested in seeing these homes." Yesterday, this is yesterday, two houses, both houses had a $50,000 price reduction. Just yesterday. When is the last time anyone's ever talked about a price reduction?
Yeah, I'm starting to see price reductions happen a little bit more. And I think what we're happening right now is we're getting back to what I like to call like a window market, and that kind of is that hot pocket idea. Is that if the home's priced right within that right window, it's going to get action and activity. I do think that a lot of the sellers potentially are still kind of in where we were a few months ago, where it's like, you list a home and it sells for $60,000 over. That's just not, unfortunately, where we're at right now. We have to have the house priced right. If the house is priced right, there's still activity and option and offers, and that's kind of right. And then the outliers, the ones where you got the sellers like, I just want to get X for my house, and it's sitting right now, whereas it may have sold months ago. And I think interest rates at equilibrium. We've seen interest rates move up 2%, and that's changed things. So it's made people kind of pause a little bit, and it's it's slowing things down, but I don't think it's correcting. Right? We're not in a market correcting.
Exactly. It's slowing things down. It's not cause for alarm, but
honestly is a good thing. Like, it's a good thing. We can't do 18% appreciation year over year. We cannot do that.
That's really not good for anyone, in the grand scheme of things. And as we're seeing this soften, like I'm looking at it as, okay, this is going to make it easier for buyers, which it's been really hard for buyers to get offers accepted. So as we see this softening, you have a lot of buyers that have just checked out, and they're like, hey, interest rates have gotten too high, prices have gotten too high, there's too much uncertainty with the market. Since interest rates have gone up, I've lost $500 in buying power. And so you have less buyers now, I think, actively looking or taking a break. And there's this window, there's this opportunity right now to come in and, for the serious buyers to find a great home and take advantage of this, like a lull, I guess is the best way to describe it. But I think the time, and we're only in May, but I think the time of, every offer having, 8, 9, or every house having 8, 9, 10 offers on it, as of right now, with everything going on in the market, I think that time has passed, and I think we're heading to something more of stability, which for anybody, any realtors or lenders that are dealing with this day in, day out, we are relieved because it is going to help us in the long run. So just a few more stats for you. This is looking at sales with multiple offers. So far through April, 71.5% of houses are having multiple offers, right? But again, like I said earlier, it's not necessarily we're having 8 to 10 offers and 12 offers on every house. It's, hey, we're seeing like sometimes 1, 2, or 3, and it's sometimes taking a little bit longer to get those in contract. So we need to be able to see what's going on in the market, but pending contracts is really going to give us a good indicator of where we're at month over month. But I will say that 71% having multiple offers, I mean, anybody can argue that is a very hot market. So I think it just depends. And we're looking at Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, El Dorado counties overall. So we're looking at a large amount of homes here. Great. And so we're looking at the percentage that buyers are paying over list price. So we're seeing that slow down, right? So for the last few months, we do market updates for specific cities, suburbs of Sacramento. And, it's been at the 3 or 4% for a while. And now we're seeing it kind of come down to that 2% of the list price. And what that means, right, is, let's just say for easy math, the house is listed at 100,000. Well, 2% would be 102,000, right? So just looking at seeing that shift of, okay, people are paying a little bit less, even though it's multiple offers, we're getting closer to that list price. And that's why I really believe pricing the house right out of the gate is never more important than now. because buyers are just moving on. If it's overpriced, they're like, nope,
They're not. Yeah, they're not. It's not. They're not even writing an offer. They're just moving on. Yeah. So I think that strategy is, well, hey, I'm overpriced, but maybe maybe they'll just write an offer. They're just not. You've got to be in that window.
Right. And we're not talking about little price reductions either. I mean, $50,000 price reduction on a $600,000 house, that's a big reduction. So
like 8%.
What's that?
It's like 8%.
Yeah. So we go to the last graph here, and then we'll let Keith talk a little bit more about a program that's coming out. So this is the price of homes with the price reduction in the past week, under $1 million. We're at 225. You can see this number steadily increasing. And as this number is increasing, obviously very short amount, April 19th to April 25th, but we're seeing this number go up, and I think it's going to continue to go up until sellers are.
That's daily. That's a daily. Daily number of listings in MLS daily with a price reduction.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Pretty crazy to see it trending up like that, and I think it's important to note, and what Ryan covers really in his blog that I think he talks about really well. He's like, we're seeing this trend of price reductions, and that's a really good indicator. But there is no substitute for looking at the market weekly, because monthly numbers can be a little skewed. So you want to look at the active homes that come on the market every week. You want to look at the homes that go pending and the ones that sold. Like, really looking at that data is super important. Price reductions, multiple offers, all that's good. But normally this time, I mean, take COVID out of the equation, normally around this time of the year, we'd have like 1,000 more listings, like regionally, like in this area, we'd have 1,000 more listings that buyers would have to choose from. And it doesn't matter what you do, you have 1,000 less listings, the numbers are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be a little skewed. So we still do have very limited inventory. We just have more than we're used to over the past few years that's starting to hit the market.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Beautiful. So Keith, we usually always talk about kind of what we're drinking, because this is kind of our happy hour.
What do you got, man?
I actually have a sample that a friend gave me. It's just a little sample bottle of, this is a Old Carter.
I have a bottle of Old Carter, and I've not opened it nor tasted it. What Old Carter is that? Do you know which one? Because there's like 14 of them every year.
Mm-hmm. It's solid. I think it's batch 10. It's really
okay. Good. Awesome. Good. Love it.
What are you drinking?
Dude, the go-to, man, is Brewery.
Stella. And
got me a little
wow,
skinny.
You would
skinny can Stella. Huh?
So tell us about this new program that's coming out that could really be beneficial to get that free money.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. So CalHFA, California Housing Finance Administration, and for anybody first-time homebuyers out there that are looking for a great place for information for first-time homebuyers, that website honestly is one of the better websites out there, and it's CalHFA, CalHFA.org. But they have a new program, and it's they're calling it their Equity Builder program. And basically, it's a second mortgage. There we go, forgivable equity builder loan right there on the CalHFA website. It's a second mortgage for 10% of the purchase price in California that is forgivable as long as you live in the house as your primary residence and make the mortgage payments on time for a 5-year period. So basically, they forgive 20% every year of the initial 10%. So if you buy a $400,000 home, it's $40,000 that after a 5-year period of time is 100% forgiven, which is pretty rad.
Yeah.
So we're approved with CalHFA. You can give us a phone call. We'd love to get you guys qualified for this. I mean, there's a lot of different down payment assistance programs. I'm licensed to lend in multiple states, and we are pretty blessed in California. I think California probably is one of the better states in the nation with down payment assistance programs. And this right here is probably one of those easily accessible program with, and what I mean by that is from a funding standpoint. A lot of these programs sometimes can be kind of a unicorn, right? It's like, yeah, dude, that's awesome that they have that and they say that they're going to give it, but it's an 18-month waiting list to get the money, right? And by that time, your home's gone up $100,000, at least in the market that we were before. This is a program that has funds that are readily available. They typically never run out of money. They've been around forever, and this is a new program that they just rolled out like 2 weeks ago. So it's awesome. I think it's really cool. I think it's an actual tangible benefit for a lot of people. I mean,
so, from a qualification standpoint, Keith, what are the parameters for this program?
Yeah, the big one that's a little bit different on this program than others is it's 80% of what we call the area median income limit. So if you think about like the median home price, it's the median income for an area. And so if we're talking about Placer County, Sacramento County, El Dorado County, it's about $72,000 as a household. So, with most down payment assistance programs, the lower you make, the more funds that you get for down payment assistance. So I think that's the big catch, if you will. Whereas on the regular CalHAFA programs that also provide down payment. So we can do a CalHAFA program with 3% down, and we can get that 3% down and as a silent second. That's like $140,000, $150,000 in the Tri-County year, whereas this program's like $72,000. So that's kind of the big catch. So if you have zero debt and you make $72,000 a year and you're buying in the Tri-County area, it's about a $400,000, $410,000 home that you could qualify for.
Nice.
And get $40,000 free. Forgivable after 5 years.
I like free. Free sounds good. Free money. Don't quote us on that. It's not really free.
Yeah.
Love it. Hey, so as we kind of close out today, we kind of fired a lot of information over to you. Want to real quick talk about our listing of the week. So we have a listing hitting the market tomorrow in Sacramento. Pretty much fully remodeled here. Got the RV access, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, hot price point at $400,000. So it will not be available for very long. It's got 2 bathrooms. A lot of houses in this area of Sacramento have 1 bath. So it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Excuse my iPhone pictures because we don't even have the professional photos back yet. But it's got a great sized backyard. Outside was just painted. I mean, it's huge yard, covered patio, the whole 9. Stellar property is going to be priced at $400,000. So if you know of anyone that's interested in this property, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll get you a private tour.
Within the zone for the forgivable equity builder.
Oh, I know. You teed it up. It's like, hey,
it's right in the zone.
I mean, if you make under $72,000,
you might be able to get you $40,000 as forgivable if you buy this house.
I mean, that sounds like a plan to me. So, hey, it's a good combo. Let us know. We'd be happy to help. Keith, closing thoughts. Anything you want to add?
There's just a ton of opportunity out there. I think there's 3 types. I think in this market that we're at right now, there's a few different types of home buyers. There's home buyers with the interest rates have kind of moved up and it's going to scare them off. I think there's home buyers right now that are going to pause for a little bit. And then there's a second group that's going to lean in. And I think the group that's going to lean in is going to find the opportunity, because there are some sellers going to have some price reductions. There's some sellers a little overzealous. And I think there's going to be a little less competition because there's a segment of the market that's been moved out with the rising interest rates. So my closing thought is I think there's still a lot of opportunity in this market, and those that lean in will really seize that opportunity.
Yeah. No, well said.
Boom.
You got to lean in. Man, that's like a mic drop moment. Hey, just looking over a few notes from everyone talking through. Andrew, thanks for tuning in. My buddy Drew, talking about great stuff. And then we're also talking about, seeing price reductions happening. Thanks, guys, for appreciating the time and effort for our content. Glad you guys are coming through. Hey, real quick. So you're thinking about moving to the area, or you have more questions about the Sacramento real estate market, feel free to click the link in the description or in the bio for a fast track call. Our team gets together. Keith can do the same thing as well. We'd like to get together with you for 10 or 15 minutes on a Zoom call, answer any questions you have about the real estate market, what's going on, figure out, Keith always talks about it's not necessarily that people are, getting the wrong loan, but are they getting the right loan for them? So he's talking about other opportunities. There are lots of opportunities out there, but it's the same thing for when you're buying a house. So schedule a 15-minute fast track call with me, and we'll be able to answer all of your home buying questions and get you on track to buying a home in 2022. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next month where we talk about what's going on right now in the Sacramento real estate market. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. See you later.
Take care.